Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about Canto 15 and 16 in Dante's Inferno. Okay, before we get started, I'll give you a little bit of background information. In Canto 14, Dante and Virgil crosses the river Phlegethon, one of the main rivers in Hell. Along with other rivers, like the river Styx or the river Cocytus, it flows into the very center of Hell. In Canto 15 and 16, there are two main attractions. So in Canto 15, it is Brunetto Latini, a major figure in Dante's life, both in and out. And he was Dante's mentor, both in real life and also in the book, and in Canto 15. In Canto 16, the main attraction is an object rather than a person, Dante's belt. This belt later proves to be useful since it allows Virgil and Dante to cross and enter into the eighth circle of hell. Okay, so let's get straight into Canto 15. In Canto 15, the residents are sinners who were violent in their lives, whether towards nature, themselves, or towards others. In the book, this is represented as three people: sodomites, suicides, and ushers. Sodomites are people who, well, committed sodomy. If you don't know what sodomy is, you can Google it, but make sure to use incognito mode. For those of you who understand, sodomy is in a way violating the rules of nature, the laws of nature, right? And suicides, people who kill themselves, are being violent against themselves. And ushers, people who lend money to others with unreasonable amounts of interest, are being violent towards others. Their punishment is to walk on scorching fire and sand, not being able to stop. In fact, in the book Inferno 2 commentary, it says, through this verse, we see that the blasphemers endure more painful punishment for a graver sin. They lie under the fire without being able to brush it off. If a sodomite stops even for an instant, he must, as a special penalty, suffer the blasphemer's punishment for 100 years. Sounds pretty painful. However, that is not the main attraction of Canto 15. The main attraction is Brunetto Latini, an alien philosopher and scholar who actually in the book Inferno 2 commentary, page 255, says, Brunetto Latini, philosopher and public servant. He is commonly supposed to have been Dante's master, and he was Dante's master. He was Dante's guardian after Dante's dad passed away. And he praised Dante a lot for his works, and also in the book prophesies of Dante's exile. And he acted as Dante's father figure, his mentor, both in and out of the book. And Brunetto was a major figure in Dante's life, and you can see how important it is in the book. And Brunetto and Dante talk for a while, and they also wish each other's well-being and such. And let's go into Canto 16. Canto 16 is more like a movie scene. It's not a specific section of hell. It's not a certain circle of hell. However, it's more of a collection of some important events. And one of those events is when Dante meets three souls, three famous Florentines. That is, people who are from Florence, Italy. And they are great people that Dante admired. They are Guido Guerra, Tegihaio Aldobrandi, and Jacopo Rusticucci, three very rich nobles who lived in Florence. And they asked Dante, hey Dante, how is Florence doing? Is it doing well? Is it doing bad? And Dante says, it's not doing that well because the citizens are too ignorant and so arrogant that Florence is actually suffering from its own citizens. And the three souls are upset by this news, but they also tell Dante to tell people of Florence news about them and to stay healthy. And however, that is also not the main attraction of Canto 16. Like, a main attraction of Canto 16 is Dante's tossing of the cord. So Dante has a cord around his waist that he hands off to Virgil, and Virgil tosses it off a cliff, which summons a monster that is later in Canto 17 clarified to be Grayon, a monster that will allow them to enter Canto 17, where sinners of fraud are punished. And one confusing thing about this is that Dante's cord appears out of nowhere. It actually says in the book Dante, a literary reference to his life and work. The most vexing question raised by this canto, however, is the meaning of the cord that Dante gives to Virgil as they stand on the edge of the precipice leading to Circle 8. And it is kind of confusing because there's quite a few opinions about this cord, like what it means. And we're going to discuss it when we discussed about symbolism in the Inferno. And in the Inferno, there are quite a few objects that symbolize various ideas and meanings other than its literal meaning. For example, the scorching fire, rain, and sand that the sinners of Canto 15 are forced to walk on and suffer in symbolizes the unproductive nature of sodomy. Because again, if you understand what sodomy is, then you know its unproductive nature. And unlike dirt and rain, which is the opposite of fire, rain, and sand, dirt and rain they symbolize productiveness. However, and they also symbolize fertility. However, since the sodomites are forced to work on fire, to walk on sand and fire, rain, it symbolizes unproductiveness. And Dante's cord. This is a major object in Cantos 15 and 16. So basically, it symbolizes chastity because Dante was planning to kill the leopard, which by the way symbolizes lust, with his cord. He says in the Inferno, page 131, I had a hank of cord wrapped around me. With it, I had plans to take the leopard with the painted flank. And also in the book, Dante, a literary reference to his life and work, it says, another idea is that the cord symbolizes chastity, and thus was to be used to catch the leopard, symbolic of the sins of incontinence. And there you go. That was Canto 15 and 16, and all the major points analyzed, and I hope you took some good notes, and thanks for listening. Well, jump, jump!